Hey Dolphins fans! Unfortunately, it happened, and we need to talk about it and touch on the wounds of our Miami Dolphins. Before we dive into today's heavy news, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss any updates on your favorite team. We have a lot to talk about, especially about Tua Tagovailoa, so stay tuned until the end for all the details. Now, I know this is hard to hear, but once again, we're here discussing Tua Tagovailoa and his health after yet another unfortunate head injury. If you watched the game against the Buffalo Bills, you saw how it unfolded. It wasn't just a loss on the scoreboard, the Dolphins lost their starting quarterback, and that's raising serious concerns about their football future. In the third quarter, with just under 5 minutes left, Tua made a gutsy decision to go for it on 4th and 4. He took off upfield on a quarterback keeper, trying to make something happen, but then came the brutal collision. He lowered his head right into Bills safety Damar Hamlin, and the aftermath was something no one wanted to see. Tua went down hard, and it was clear right away something was wrong. His arm balled up in a way that we've come to recognize as a fencing response, a common sign of traumatic brain injury. It was a moment that left not only Dolphins fans but the entire NFL community holding its breath. Tua had to be helped off the field, and shortly after, the team ruled him out with a concussion. And guys, this isn't just a random injury, this is Tua's third diagnosed concussion in his career, with 2 of them coming just last season. It's hard not to feel emotional about it. Even Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen, who's known for his fierce competitive spirit, was visibly affected by the situation. After the game, he had nothing but kind words for Tua, saying, "He's a great football player, but an even greater human being. He's one of the best human beings on the planet. I've got a lot of love for him, praying for him and his family, hoping everything's okay." That says a lot when a guy like Allen, one of our biggest rivals on the field, is stepping up to show that kind of respect and concern. Damar Hamlin, who's no stranger to medical scares on the field himself, also took to social media to show his support for Tua. The entire football community seems to be rallying behind him, which speaks volumes about the type of person Tua is. And that's really where Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel's focus was after the game, too. You could see it in his face, the concern was real. He said, "I'm just worried about the human being. I was just worried about my guy. It's not something you ever want to be a part of. You hope not to." It's clear that for McDaniel and the team, this isn't just about football anymore. It's about Tua's health and his life beyond the game. Let's be real here, Dolphins fans. This latest concussion raises big questions about whether Tua should even continue playing football. It's hard to say it out loud, but we have to be honest. After his concussions last year, Tua himself considered retirement. So, what does this latest injury mean for his future? McDaniel was asked if it's even safe for Tua to keep playing, and he gave a very candid response, saying, "That's from a medical standpoint. I don't approach things that I'm far inferior in expertise." He went on to say that they're going to take things day by day and see how Tua responds after more evaluation. That's the hardest part, waiting. No one knows right now how long Tua will be out, and no one knows for sure if he'll return this season or even at all. McDaniel did his best to stay optimistic, but you could tell that this is weighing on everyone. He mentioned that when he spoke to Tua, even after the injury, Tua was still focused on his teammates, telling them to keep their heads up. That right there says everything about his character. Even in one of the scariest moments of his career, he was thinking about the team first. It's hard not to get emotional about this, Dolphins fans. This isn't just about wins and losses anymore. It's about Tua as a person, as a husband, as a father. McDaniel talked about what Tua means to the team, not just as a player but as a leader, and how much his presence impacts the entire locker room. Everyone is hoping for the best, but the reality is we don't know what's next. Now, I want to hear from you, Dolphins fans. What do you think? Should Tua even consider stepping back from football for good? Or do you believe he should keep fighting and come back stronger? I know it's a tough call, and there are no easy answers here. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's have a conversation about this. Alright, now it's time to talk about what the Dolphins might do if Tua has to sit out for a while. Let's face it, our current backup situation isn't exactly inspiring confidence. Skylar Thompson and Tim Boyle? That's not a duo that's going to scare any opposing defense, and it puts Miami in a tough spot. So what might the Dolphins do if Tua misses a significant portion of the season? Well, there are a few quarterbacks out there that we could potentially consider. First up, let's talk about a familiar name, Ryan Tannehill. Yep, the former Dolphins QB is still out there waiting for the right call. Now, he's not a perfect option, but he brings something the team desperately needs: experience. Tannehill knows the Dolphins system, he's still healthy, and most importantly, he can make quick reads, which is crucial in a Mike McDaniel offense. Sure, it's not an ideal fit, but is there really an ideal fit at this point in the season? The truth is, if Tua is out for a while, Tannehill might just give the Dolphins a fighting chance. Now, if Miami wants to look elsewhere, what about the Los Angeles Chargers backups? They've got Taylor Heinicke and Easton Stick sitting behind Justin Herbert. Heinicke has more starting experience, having shown flashes during his time with the Washington Commanders. He's a scrappy player who could serve as a solid bridge until Tua returns. Stick, on the other hand, is younger and less proven but has potential. The Chargers are committed to Herbert, so one of these guys could be available. Of course, of the two, Heinicke seems like the better option, given his starting experience, but Stick could be a wild card. Here's another option that might raise some eyebrows: Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, I know what you're thinking, Jimmy G hasn't exactly been lighting it up recently, but hear me out. He's familiar with the kind of system that McDaniel runs, having worked together in San Francisco. And while he's not the flashiest name, he's got starting experience and has won games before. Plus, Garoppolo could step in and manage the offense, especially with a solid run game to back him up. Is it a perfect solution? No. But if you're comparing him to sticking with Thompson or Boyle, Garoppolo might give the Dolphins a better shot to stay competitive. Look, Dolphins fans, none of these options are going to replace what Tua brings to the field. He's been the heart and soul of this offense when healthy, but we can't ignore the reality that his health is a major concern. If Tua is sidelined for an extended period, Miami has to make a decision, and fast. Do we ride it out with Thompson and potentially tank the season for a high draft pick, or do we make a move and bring in someone who can at least keep us competitive? That's where I want to hear from you, Dolphins fans. What do you think is the best move for Miami right now? Should we go after a veteran like Tannehill, take a gamble on someone like Heinicke or Stick, or even consider a trade for Garoppolo? Or should we just roll with Thompson and hope for the best? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. This is a huge decision that could define the rest of our season. And before you go, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you're always in the loop with the latest Dolphins news. Let's all hope for a speedy recovery for Tua, and until next time, fins up.